I had sent that beat to Drake for his first album, but he was like he already had something like kind of similar in that vein. I could have just been like, oh man, forget that beat. But it's
Yeah.
I just like boom, kept playing it for people till I played it for that right artist. And Rocky was in that place where man, he made a super movie out that shit. You know what I mean? It's a real hip hop moment.
What's poppin', y'all? For Complex, I am Jordan Rose, and today I am joined with multi-platinum rapper and producer, the one and only Hit Boy is zoomed in. My brother, what's up?
Yeah, yeah. What's the deal, man? What we doing? It's that
Man,
time.
it's about that time. It's about that time, man. Hit Boy, Mike Will
Mhm.
Made It versus this week. So we were kind of talking a little bit before we started rolling that this is not your first versus rodeo. How you feeling going into this one?
Man, I'm feeling solid. Yeah, like me and Boy Wonder was really like the first one that popped it off, like the first official joint that was set up. We had a lot of viewership in there on the IG Live and all that. But for where it's, for where it's gone, where it's going, it's like this is about to be a whole different thing. You know what I mean? I just remember how many people was like discovering like the hits I made at that time, and it was just like, damn, I didn't know he made that. So it's like to be on an even bigger scale, and for people to see what they about to see and be like, oh damn, I didn't know he was behind all this, man. It's gonna be a great educational moment.
Yeah, I mean, Versus, I feel like was built for the producers first and foremost. Obviously, Swiss and Timbo kicking it off, and then a lot of those early verses, like you and Boy Wonder, was all producers who were just showing off how deep their catalog really went, which I think is dope. So since you've already done one, do you feel like you got a competitive advantage because you already know, like, all right, like, I know I gotta respond with a little counter blow if he pulls out this track. Like, since you already been in the heat of a competition like this before.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what I mean? But it's like, this is a whole different, person. It's a whole different producer. You know what I mean? So it's like I gotta look at it different. I gotta just like I can't get too like, oh, I'm comfortable since I did it already. It's like now I know, his caliber, his pedigree. You know what I mean? I'm gonna come with my A game. I know he gonna come with his.
Real. Now I'm not gonna try to spoil this battle. I don't know what songs you're gonna pick. I am familiar with your deep catalog. So I just wanted to pull out two or three records that may or may not show up during this battle, and I want to just kind of hear how they came together. All right. First, I want to look at one of my favorite Hit Boy produced tracks is Goldie, a little throwback joint. Uh, First,
Mm.
kind of talk to me about how that record came together, and also I heard that that was a beat that you had originally made for Jay Z, or at least you had Jay Z in mind. Is that true?
So really, that was just a beat that I was that I had just made, just vibing. But I played it for Kanye, and I played a different rendition of it. Like I kind of went into like this more melodic, like chorded type thing originally. Like when the beat switches from like the beat break. Boom bap to like the 808 tribal type vibe. Instead of the 808 tribal vibe, that was like more melodic, kind of soulful. Kanye
Mm.
heard the beat. He was like, "Yo, instead of it going there after the boom bap, just keep that flute going and do something just like modern and just crazy." So I came up with that, and I played it for him. And he was vibing to it, but he never did nothing. That was a Watch the Throne day, so it could have been a Watch the Throne joint, but they didn't end up using it. They didn't end up picking it. But a couple years later, or like a year or so later, that's when I tapped in with Rocky when he was working on his album. We had did that, and we did One Train in those sessions, man, and they ended up on the first album.
Damn. Wow. The fact that Goldie was almost on Watch the Throne, insane. And I wonder like what the record would have been, like what song would have had that beat. Do you ever think about that? Like what song that Goldie beat would have fit that's on Watch the Throne?
Not necessarily, because it's like I know they would have came up with a whole different way for that particular
Mm.
beat, but everything be landing where it's supposed to, man. That's why it's like in my younger days, I used to get like frustrated when like I would make a song with an artist, or I would play crazy beats for an artist and they wouldn't use them. But the more you go through the game, you learn, you understand. So it's like now if I make something heat that's crazy, it's like cool. If somebody don't pick it today, somebody definitely gonna pick it tomorrow, man. It's always gonna end up where it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. And speaking on One Train, that was actually the next record I wanted you to talk about. I saw that you had just broken down how you actually made the beat on Stream with Neon. But can you talk about like the inspiration for how that beat came together and if that beat was meant for anyone else or if that was always intended for Rocky?
Again, man, all my real hits was just beats I just was making, just experimenting. To be honest, I was really just trying to make like a fucking RZA Wu Tang type beat at the crib, having fun, and that's, you know what I mean. That's
Yeah.
that's all that boiled down to. Like all my biggest joints be just like beats I just made, damn near produced, like nobody in the room, just like treating this shit like it's just an exercise. You know what I mean? Making beats after beats. It's like them ones always hit for some reason.
So for that one, it really wasn't even like you were intentionally thinking, "Oh, I need to make this for Rocky." It was just kind of like you playing around, and that's it. Just landed where it needed to.
Exactly. I had sent that beat to Drake for his first album. And he was like, "This beat is hard," but he was like, he already had something like kind of similar in that vein. He was talking about the light up joint with Jay Z. You know, if you really think about it, it's kind of like a Wu Tang-ish hip hop modern joint. You know what I mean? But I get what he was saying. But again, you know, I could have just been like, "Oh man, forget that beat." But it's
Yeah.
I just like boom, kept playing it for people till I played it for that right artist. And Rocky was in that place where he man, he made a super movie out that shit. We got classic Kendrick verse on that shit. We got,
Classic.
you know what I mean, it's a real hip hop moment.
Real hip hop moment. And it's funny because like I know you've told the story a million times already about how niggas in Paris was kind of like what you were just talking about. Just one of those beats. It was an email beat. You just sent that beat and then Kanye had stripped down the original beat you had sent and then he made it just a little more simple and then that was the beat that ended up becoming the beat that's on Niggas in Paris. But like I'm curious, do you still have that original version of the beat that you had sent them?
Yeah, I got it somewhere on one of my computers, man. I got a bunch of computers. That was so long ago, but it's somewhere around here for sure.
Like I feel like you might need to just like as like a extra on some tape of yours, like or maybe even you rap over it. I feel like we need to hear the OG pre-stripped down
Mm,
niggas in Paris beat.
I feel it. I'm gonna see if I can find that joint, man. I might throw something up on a gram or something for the people.
Shit, me, we need that, man. But so obviously you have those classic beats, and then you have the crazy catalog of songs and projects with Nas. When thinking back to all the work that you've done, like what projects between the two of you means the most to you? Because you have like what 5 at this point, 5 or 6. Like out of all the Magic, King's Diseases, like which
Six,
one means the most to you?
man, it's really two. It's like King's Disease one because you know I was like producing every single song on the album that won best rap album at the Grammys is ill as fuck to me. You know what I mean? And then it's like Magic one because it's like I feel like I've finally like hit that Nas threshold of what his fans really just want to hear from him. You know what I mean? Like was he was open to like me really diving all the way in that lane production.
Right. Now, I know that Nas is always cooking, you're always cooking. Is there a world where we get another Nas Hit Boy joint potentially this year? It's 2026, year just started.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm locked in on me right now, man. I don't know if you've been paying any type of attention on me, but my gram, I'm just flooding with music, bro. I'm making some of the hardest beats of my life. Like my delivery, my lyrics, it is just all stepping up to that height. So it's like I'm really focused on me, you know what I mean? And he just did the premiere album. I'm sure you got shit popping, but it's like I'm really like this is like I'm right now.
No, that's a fact though. I saw the NBA Centel joint, which is also like a crazy stamp that you salute to Centel, but the fact that you gave Centel that stamp by naming the song after them and then the song itself is crazy as hell. That was like that was like a moment, right? Like that was like a thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. A lot of people was tapping in on that. I talked to whoever run that page, that DM me and shit. So yeah, I'm like, that really connected.
Wait, the actual Centel, whoever like runs the page, hit you up too on some like showing love.
Mm. So yeah, preach you shouting me out, da da da. Like it was love. So that was fire,
That is dope as hell. I gotta
definitely.
ask, because in the sense of verses where you'll be playing so many classic records of yours. In your opinion, what do you think is the best Hit Boy produced song of all time?
I can't say best, man. I just they all got moments, man. They all in their own like zone, but it's like it's only certain records that could just like fuck up a stadium with 60,000 people, man. Like backseat freestyle. These is like just this year. I just seen this shit. Like I just or last year going to the GNX concert, backseat freestyle, timeless. Like years later, everybody in the crowd singing it word for word. I go to the Vegas show, to the last Beyonce show. She bring out Hov. He do niggas in Paris. That's just this last year. You know what I mean? And it's going crazy. Like this just came out, so it's like all them stadium level joints, man. It's just like that shit hit different.
Yeah. And that's what's special. It's like, I guess when you making these beats, right? So obviously, Niggas in Paris was an emailed out beat, a beat that you emailed out. Nowadays, when you're making beats, do you, in your mind, think this is like a stadium sound, this is a club sound, this is a strip club sound? Like, do you have that awareness now? And did you have that awareness back then when you made some of those early beats, like Backseat Freestyle, Niggas in Paris?
I'm definitely did not have that awareness at all, man. I just throw paint at the wall, have fun, bro. Like you know, that's kind of still in a sense. I've been doing it for a long time, so I got techniques and I can get. But I always just it's feeling first. It's like what is happening right now? What's the sounds in front of me? What's the keyboards? What can I make happen at the air right now? Like and just keep it fun.
Okay. Now, speaking of fun, this versus battle is going to be a whole bunch of fun. Who are some of the people we might expect, if you can reveal anything, who are some people who you might be able, who the fans might be able to expect to come out and, pop out for you during this battle?
I can't call it, man, but I'm standing on my own too. You know what I mean? Like regardless, like if I bring somebody out, I bring somebody out. If I don't, I got the bombs to back my.
Nah, that's a fact. Those records that you just said, Backseat Freestyle, Niggas in Paris, Goldie, One Train, Sicko Mode, it gets scary. I can't lie. Like, looking at your catalog, it does get scary, you know? So,
Nah, he got some bombs though. You know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't slacking, man. I'm studying. I'm seeing. I'm watching his discography, listening. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on. It's gonna be fun.
that's a fact. All right, so I guess, like, my last question is, versus all about honoring the great ones like yourself, like Mike Will Made It. Who's on your producer Mount Rushmore?
Man, I have respect for so many eras of producers, man. But just like, just off top, if we just going, in a moment, Battle Cat, Dr. Dre, Pharrell and the Neptunes, Kanye, Timberland, like that's like, and then it's like you just Blaze, DJ Quick. You got a lot of people, but man, like them top five is like my. I was that age getting molded, listening to all their sounds and buying CDs with their production on it, and just really fucking taking their songs and chopping the kicks, chopping the snares, like chopping samples out of their beats and making my own beats out of their sounds. Like, that shit, that's the real inspiration. But it's a lot. It's a lot more.
Yeah. Well, that's a solid list in of itself. My brother, thank you so much for pulling up and chopping it up with us. I will be out there. I cannot wait to chop it up with you in person and watch this legendary happen and unfold right in front of us. Is there anything left that you want to tell the people before we get into the battle this weekend?
Yo, go check out my pre-versus playlist on Apple Music right now. Let's get it. It's on. I'm ready.
It is on indeed. Well, Hit
That's
Boy,
it.
appreciate you, my brother. And that's a wrap. Make sure to check out Hit Boy versus Mike Will Made It, streaming exclusively on Apple Music this Friday, January 30th. All right? I'll see y'all there. Peace.